Hello. Welcome to the Goods. I know that you have been looking at us wearing our Fly Goods podcast gear and wondering where can we get those. Well, guess what? We have the answers for you. We have it here, Teespring. Go to Teespring and you will find all of this glorious merchandising, from t-shirts to mugs to, well, there's other toys, but we can't talk about that now. Go to Teespring, enjoy our memorabilia.
And we're back off Flash.
No substance.
So today's top 5 is a top 5 detective films. Now that the Batman is freaking tearing it up out there in the box office, we wanted to highlight some of the best detective films out there. And guess what? There's a lot of freaking detective films.
Yeah. So I mean, when you sit and think about it, sometimes it's kind of a loose interpretation of detective film. Were they trying to solve like a case in some aspect? Were they really detectives? So for me, I'm gonna keep it that there had to be a detective in it, and there had to be like a case they were trying to solve, because sometimes they're detectives, but they're just kind of doing stuff, and I don't really consider that a detective movie.
That's like really freaking spreading it thin there.
Yeah, I know. It's like that's why my top 5. It's like you're gonna understand why my top 5 is my top 5.
All right, Terrence, go first.
All right,
I can't wait.
All right, so I started my top 5 with number 5. Basic Instinct. It's like Michael Douglas, Sharon Stone,
and Beavers.
They're trying to, yeah, that too. They're trying to figure out who killed her lover, because it wasn't her husband, right?
I can't even remember.
I can't remember. It's like, was it her husband or was it just some dude that she was banging on the time? But anyway, it's like he dies, like he's murdered.
Violently.
Violently murdered. And they're trying to figure out if Sharon Stone's character did it or if it was somebody else who did it, because she's taking this like, I didn't had anything to do with it. And they're kind of piecing everything together, and they're watching her cross her legs and getting distracted, which is why they couldn't solve this movie in 15 minutes. But it was a great all around, and they won awards. It put Sharon Stone on the map. You knew who she was.
Oh yeah, you did.
Because of the leg crossing. And
yeah, you knew who she was already.
You know, Michael Douglas, who obviously was a standout actor at the time, and it was like this was just one of the things. It was like kind of took him to another level.
I think it revitalized his career a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's why when I probably watched this movie when I was way too young to see this movie, but it stands in my mind, and I feel like it is one of a great detective film, because it's a lot of them trying to put the pieces together to try to figure out and solve this mystery.
Okay.
All right. So brings me on to number 4.
Number 4.
All right, number 4, I went with Shutter Island. With the great Leo DiCaprio.
Directed by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, it was a great film. Look, and it is a mystery that he himself is trying to figure out. And I know before you guys put in the comments before, he was technically a U.S. Marshal, but he is doing detective work in this film in order to try to figure out what is going on this island.
So Memento.
Yes. Directed by Martin Scorsese.
This is Nolan's Memento, directed by Martin Scorsese. Got it. In prison.
It is a great mystery movie, and he's Memento. It's a mental thing, and you're really trying to put the piece together and kind of understand what's going on. And his job, he's doing detective work, trying to interview these people and kind of figure out what's going on this island and why everything is the way it is. And then, spoiler alert, he finds out it's all in his head. But
okay.
All right, but that was my number. It's a great film. If you've never seen Shutter Island, I probably just spoiled it for you. So, but just
it's good.
Forget everything I said, unlike the movie, or like the movie, and just rewatch it without knowing the end. All right, number 3, I went with, and this one was a toss-up that I put it at number 3, but I feel like it deserves to be here based on what I have at 1 and 2. I went with Silence of the Lambs.
Good
you
choice.
know, Clarice is out there trying to find Buffalo Bill, the serial killer, and she has to go and talk to Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal Lecter himself, to try to figure out the clues and how to track this guy down to stop him from killing more women. That's about as detective as you can get. Don't say the Batman. But this film, I mean, really is like, it kind of gets us up there to where, like, hey, understanding the minds of serial killers and, you know, how to profile them better and how to better track them when they're out on a spree and you have no idea who's doing it. So, I mean, this was a great film. It spawned off so many sequels and so many spinoffs, and probably did way too much for this one film. But the greatness of this film is the reason why. And Anthony Hopkins, one of his best performances.
I believe it is his best performance. He won the Oscar for it. Come on.
He won the Oscar for it.
All right.
So, number 2.
Number 2.
All right, so this is where you guys might give me some crap, but I feel like maybe because it's a little newer, but I feel like it's a great film, and it is a murder mystery. Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
Well, it's got Emily Ratajkowski. So
Yeah,
I'm with you.
So
on
that and Ben Affleck and everybody, it's like, look, there's like his wife disappears. Is she dead? I mean, they're getting all the clues that says she's dead, and they're really trying to figure it out. And detectives, it goes for like, do you become famous because or infamous, right? It was like because you're in this spotlight, and how Ben Affleck deals with it, but also too, the detectives really trying to figure out what happened to his wife. And then, you know, as we get to the end of the movie, if you haven't seen it, you know, we find out that she is still alive. But it was like just the whole back and forth of did he do it, and why, what makes him more guilty versus him being innocent, and them trying to really determine how this mystery unfolded.
Okay.
All right, so it's a great film. If you haven't seen it,
that's
go ahead
an
and see
interesting number 2.
I mean, it is Silence of the Lambs. I knew
like,
everybody was.
Yeah, that was.
But
I would have taken it at 3. I don't know if I would have taken it at 2.
So the only thing about this one is that it was so I never read the book, and when I watched the movie, everybody kept saying watch the movie, and so I watched the movie with little to no expectations of this film, and it blew me away. Unlike a Fight Club.
Sometimes that's what you need. Like,
yeah,
go
like,
in there.
Just go in there, eyes closed,
Exactly.
or like ears, or whatever. Just go in and just experience it, and that's why I enjoyed it so much, because I expected very little from this film, and I was like, oh, okay, the wife's dead, and you know, it's just gonna be a Lifetime movie, is what I was thinking, and then it was more complicated than that, and I was like, oh wow, this is a great film. I can't believe that. And another Ben Affleck film that I did not want to see when it first came out, but then when I saw it, I was like, I love that film. Other one, The Accountant.
Yes, you did say that, and mine's Argo.
I see.
Mine's Argo.
Man,
I was like, I
Ben
didn't think
Affleck-
that movie was gonna be all that.
Ben Affleck, you gotta get some
It's
better
freaking
marketing,
it's
man.
phenomenal.
For your films. You gotta get some
Argo
better
is
marketing.
like one of my favorite Ben Affleck films. All right, number 1.
Number one. Obvious. 7.
7.
7. I mean, it's Brad Pitt. It's Morgan Freeman, and it's like
A box.
it is the Batman before the Batman.
Exactly. Yes, it was.
It is the Batman before the Batman. I mean, it is a great film where they try to track down a serial killer who's leaving clues that they have to figure out.
And they're looking, and they're doing the slow pacing too.
There you go. And they're actually failing on all of the stuff. Every time he leaves a clue, they're almost getting there too late, unlike a Batman that happened in a certain movie. And but yeah, so like this is a great film. This is one of the first dramas I can think of as a younger person. I think I'm still young in my teenage years when this came out. And really kind of put me on to who Brad Pitt was, because I obviously knew who Morgan Freeman was, Electric Company. But but I never knew who Brad Pitt was, and it was just kind of like it was almost a damn horror movie. It was so scary and so suspenseful, and you really wanted them to find this guy and stopped it. And it's so much the fact that, unlike Batman, they didn't find him; he found them, and kind of gave himself up.
He knew them. He knew what they were doing the whole time. They were watching. He was watching them.
I'm relating this to Batman.
Okay.
And it's like, and unlike Batman, the Riddler knew the Batman. Spoiler alert, sorry if you haven't seen the Batman. So it's like, as a matter of fact, I feel like they just took the screenplay and just
they just put
Batman, Riddler. That's all they did. That's all they did. I'm sorry, Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, Somerset. No, Commissioner Gordon.
There you go. That's all they
Mills.
did.
Batman.
That's how great this film is, that they just did it again in 2022 and just relabeled it the Batman. And that is my top 5.
All right. My top 5 is going to be a combination of both to some degree. And this was really tough. Now I gave you some titles before we started recording, right. And you were kind of iffy on certain things. So right. I'm going to I did do my revisions that I said I was going to do, because you were right on one in particular.
Yes.
And that brings me to my number 5.
Number 5.
My number 5 is The Fugitive.
Okay.
Now, granted, he's not a detective. Richard Kimball, Harrison Ford is not a detective in this movie. And Tommy Lee Jones, he's a U.S. Marshal.
So I did U.S. Marshal in Shutter Island. I'll give you U.S. Marshal for The Future.
Okay, but Richard Kimball has to get escapes after being convicted, and he is trying to prove his innocence. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to find out who really killed his wife, and how it all basically ties to his profession. And he had to go to all these different spots and even disguise himself to get the clues, to get everything, all the information he needed that was going to lead to finally who was responsible for his wife's death.
In real life, this would have never happened. He'd have still went to jail, and his lawyers would have had to figure this out.
So,
by the way, he was rich. He could have got out on bail. He could have done all this stuff.
With $800 million, he could have actually been Batman. Because it cost $800 million to be Batman. Anyway, but he succeeds. He proves his innocence. It's absolutely phenomenal. Some of the best performances that
Jeff
you're going to
Bezos
see.
Can be Batman.
And yes, he could. And no, but yes.
He's rich. He's eccentric. You know what? If we start getting sightings of Batman, it's Jeff Bezos.
You're not gonna start. Let's go kill his parents or nothing like that. You are awful. Tommy Lee Jones gives an Oscar-winning performance in this, and you cannot take away from his supporting cast that he had as far as his team of marshals. The chemistry between them was absolutely awesome, and Harrison Ford, man, one of his best. So that is my number 5. Number 4. It's a Naked Gun. I had to throw the Naked Gun.
They're detectives.
That is one of the big Detective Frank Drabin. That's right. He's the Queen's in town, and he's about to find out who's gonna assassinate the Queen. And it is absolutely one of the funniest movies I have ever seen in my life. And yes, he is a detective, and he is a freaking dang good detective of sorts. And if you have not seen The Naked Gun, you need to watch The Naked Gun just for the ledge scene alone with all of the statues and the fake boobs and all the big boobs. It's so funny. You gotta watch that dang movie.
I'm trying to figure out what was the name of the movie with Tom Hanks and
Belushi?
No, from Ghostbusters.
Tom Hanks and somebody from Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Oh, Dragnet.
Dragnet, thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna. Okay. That was gonna be in my freaking honorable mentions.
There you go.
It's
It's
all
your honorable mentions.
You killed it for me. But anyway.
Sorry.
Number 3!
Number 3!
It's Dragnet! No. It should be in my top 3, but no. It's Beverly Hills Cop 1.
It is a detective movie.
It is a detective movie.
He is a detective. The wrong type of detective, but he is a detective.
Yeah, he fractured an occasional law before he became a cop. And but you know what? Hey, his best friend is murdered in Detroit. He has a link to Beverly Hills. Eddie Murphy's Axel Foley goes out there and he tries to solve the case of who killed his best friend.
With the type of detective, wasn't he just like in like robberies?
He wasn't robbery homicide. He was just a detective.
I mean, you got to detect something. Like,
I
what are you
don't know what
detecting?
detective homicide is. Maybe it is just homicide. But anyway.
I guess because it's like I guess they do kind of go together because like he was dealing with different like thefts and little schemes and stuff out there. So okay, makes sense. All right,
but obviously, I mean, it's a classic. If you have not seen The Naked Gun or Beverly Hills Cop, we got to talk because that's absolutely a classic.
That means
top
that you're
5
young.
Beverly Hills, top 5 Eddie Murphy films actually for sure.
Right.
Now I was torn. I was torn between Beverly Hills Cop 2 and Beverly Hills Cop 1, because me personally, my favorite is Beverly Hills Cop 2.
I mean, Beverly Hills Cop 2 is the better movie, but from the detective side.
From a pure detective side, part 1 was more of a detective movie. All right, so number 2.
Number 2.
It's Silence of the Lambs. It's got to be number 2. I'm sorry.
Unless it's Gone Girl.
The performances alone, make this movie freaking worthy. And obviously you have, Demi's direction. You got freaking Anthony Hopkins, Jodie Foster. But how about Buffalo Bill himself?
Yeah. And it was like, she rubs the lotion on its skin unless it gets the hose again. Or the dance.
Ted Levine, that's his name. Ted Levine is absolutely phenomenal in that movie. I mean, he's probably one of those. He's very scary, and he's just normal. He's just a normal dude. But there's just everything about him, the way he carries himself, and his character design and everything was just. It was eerie. It was really eerie. So he is underrated, I think, because everybody I started it with Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster. Well deserved. But let's not gloss over Ted Levine's
performance was the creepiest thing I ever saw. Dancing in a skin suit and God bless.
All right, number 1.
Number 1.
The 7. I mean the Batman. 7. Come on, man. I mean, and I'm gonna go back.
A fresh-faced cop and an old detective.
That's right. That was from the Electric Company. Teams up with the Legend of the Fall.
Anthony Hopkins was in Legend of Fall.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, cool. He was his dad. Okay. Anyway, but kind of like picking back off of Silence of the Lambs, where you have the underrated performance of the villain, and that's Kevin Spacey. He's pariah, obviously, now, and but you got to give credit where credit is due. His performance in Seven was phenomenal, and hell, he could have been the damn Riddler. They chose him for Lex Luthor, but whatever.
I think he was a great Lex Luthor. Yeah, I mean, it's like the performance is great, and it was like, I mean, who cares about him as a person? The performance. Nobody said he wasn't a good actor; he's just a bad person.
Yeah,
he's a great actor, just a bad person.
But what he did in that movie, and in the suspense aspect of it, and you have the 7 deadly sins, which from a religious standpoint, you everybody kind of like, oh, I don't want to talk about that, or because it's there's that truth, that hidden truth that people don't want to talk about, and then that is at front and center. And now you're going through all of these different sins that they're finding, and to the end, which was absolutely one of the best endings ever. And you'll never look at boxes the same again after you watch this movie. So kudos to Seven. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow, Kevin Spacey were all phenomenal in this movie.
Oh my God, I forgot that was Gwyneth Paltrow.
Number one detective film of all time for me and T.
Yes.
So there you go.
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions, you go first.
All right, I got a little film called Clue.
A little film. You may have seen it.
You may have seen it. Maybe you didn't. It didn't make a lot of money. It was actually
Would you consider that a detective film? Yeah, I guess. Murder mystery.
Yeah, it's a murder mystery. So I would go that way. I also put down what did I? Oh, Dragnet. I put that one down. I put down Sherlock Holmes. It's a little actiony when we're talking about the more recent one.
Downey or
Robert Downey Jr.
Or the other one?
Yeah,
with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, because he has a TV show. He doesn't really have a movie. He just has a TV show.
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah.
I thought that was. Oh yeah, you're right.
It's just a TV show. So
and so does Henry Cavill.
He was Sherlock too.
What is it? Enola Holmes or something like that?
Oh, it's about the sister.
Yeah.
No, don't watch it. Nobody watched it.
Never mind.
Nobody watched it. Anyway,
stick to the Witcher. Yeah.
Stick to the Witcher.
Got it.
Also, I forgot what else I wrote down here. Because I wrote a bunch of notes here. Yeah, that's where we're gonna start. Oh, Knives Out. Before you guys put it in the comments, go ahead. Yes, Knives Out. Knives Out.
You, Mr. I can't stand Daniel
It's
Craig.
not mine. I'm only honorably mentioning it because you guys are gonna put it down in the comments saying,
well,
we
I
forgot
got a
Knives
crap
Out.
load of honorable mentions.
You guys are gonna put that down that I did not mention it. So yes, I mentioned it. Honorable mention. I don't like it, film.
Because of what you did.
I honorably mentioned I don't like it.
Because of what you did to The Last Jedi. All right. Revenge of the Pink Panther. Inspector Jacques Clouseau. I love it. Peter Sellers is the shit.
Go ahead. Oh, God, wait till you say it. It's gonna be hilarious.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
Downey,
Okay.
got
Yeah.
that one. Maltese Falcon, obviously, the classic. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
That's the one. It's in the name.
Zodiac.
And Zodiac.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. You don't like that movie.
Another
Daniel Craig.
Another Daniel Craig film I don't like. Look, stick to being James Bond. Don't do anything else. Just be James Bond. That's all I want from you.
But someone argued that you can look at it from from the foreign movie of the girl, the original.
Oh yeah, you can watch the original.
Yeah,
one.
the original one will probably sit better with you than the Rooney Mara.
It's like
All right.
I saw a little bit of the original one, and then I actually saw the English version with Daniel Craig, and I was like,
I mentioned it earlier. Memento.
I don't know why I didn't put it on my own mentions.
Chinatown.
Okay.
Dick Tracy. I want Dick Tracy dead.
He is a detective. The Untouchables.
Knives Out.
Well, Knives Out. I mean, Knives Out. Yes, The Untouchables. No, because they're not. It's not a detective story. They're just trying to figure out how to
stop him.
Yeah.
Because they're in the middle.
So not Untouchables. Don't worry.
They're
about
in Prohibition. Bad Boys 1. Us. What's up?
Very loose on that one. And it's like, were they doing detective stuff, or were they just reacting to the criminals always attacking them?
Well, what about they're looking at the 2 sets of lipstick here, gentlemen. Mm-hmm. See, he's detective.
Yeah, I mean, so they get credit for that, but Batman don't get credit for the bullet in the Dark Knight. You get them credit for that, but Batman don't get credit for it.
Looks like there's 2 bullets in here, gentlemen. Saw.
Yes, there's a detective trying to figure out this killer.
Saw. I gotta go with
the
Saw.
Jigsaw
Right.
killer. Yeah, I get that one.
Tango and Cash.
loose, man. That's very.
I hear the second best detective in Hollywood.
I mean,
I heard the
that's
same thing about you.
more buddy cop film, less detective work. Also, too, just reacting to things that are happening to them.
Cobra.
I'll allow it.
Running Scared.
So I was confusing this one with the Paul Walker one. So
But this
I
is
don't
actually Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines.
I don't think I've ever seen this
Jimmy
one.
Smits. It's a freaking fantastic,
I don't think
hilarious film.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
But I think you're right, though. I think it would go along the lines of Buddy Cop. Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Once again, reacting to things that are happening to them. There's no real
But
detective work in
there's clues and shit.
it. I mean, there's
clues and
It's
shit.
the Riddler in this film.
Blue Streak. And that Blue Streak.
He's a criminal.
Because there's clues and shit.
He does become a detective. He pretends to be a detective in the police department, right?
And robbery homicide.
Yeah. Okay. You know.
Bone Collector.
And Bone Collector. Yes.
You have not seen this, but Sea of Love.
I have not seen it.
You gotta see Sea of Love. You haven't seen it. John Goodman, Al Pacino, Ellen Barkin. Fantastic movie. Black Rain.
And Black Rain was the one with the car.
No.
No.
It's Michael Douglas, Andy Garcia, and they're in Japan.
Yeah, don't they drive like a
chop his head
Lambo
off.
through the window, the building or something like that?
No. I don't,
You sure?
I've never
I
seen
think
that.
so. I think because I remember
that part.
I remember seeing like I remember that movie used to get played on TV a lot when I was a kid, and I remember they would always show the little commercial trailer for it. The like a Ferrari or a Lambo would get driven out of a window of an
I thought
office
that was
building.
Bad Moon Rising or Black Moon Rising with freaking Tommy Lee Jones, Linda Hamilton.
We gotta look that up.
I gotta look that one up. All right, okay, now you were going back and forth on this one, and that was LA Confidential. I mean, it is a detective noir film,
Yes.
so
It's just not one of my favorite films.
Okay.
It's not one of my favorite. Yes, I'll give you that one. I
from an
don't-
honorable mention standpoint, okay?
I'm not gonna give you Bad Boys. I'm not giving you
Have you-
one pair of lipstick on the glass. 2 pairs of lipsticks on the glass is not enough detective work.
There was a film back in the day starring Charles Bronson that was called 10 to Midnight. Have you ever seen that movie?
I only know Charles Bronson did the
Death Wish.
Yeah, definitely. That's all the Charles Bronson
Okay,
movies
so
I know.
Charles Bronson did this movie called 10 to Midnight, and he was going after this dude that was he was a serial killer and he was killing women. And
Sounds like Death
what
Wish.
was interesting about that guy was that he would completely be naked. He would kill naked. So that way,
I mean,
he
that
could
wasn't a red flag. It's like, who's this naked guy coming up to me?
exactly. So
Maybe he's got a question for me.
let me see what he wants.
The laundromat's over there, sir.
So he would kill him completely naked, so he could just wash himself and he's done.
Yeah.
All DNA's gone, everything's gone.
Right.
And but he had to go and obviously he's got to find out.
I
where.
mean, the DNA is off of him, but it ain't out the room that he killed him.
Well, no, he kills him outside. I think in some cases he kills him outside. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Anyway,
naked outside on the street.
but it was
this
still-
movie's
yeah.
falling apart.
it was a warm night. 'Cause if it was cold, he wouldn't do it.
Where's he hiding his weapons at?
But it was a good movie. Charles Bronson was actually pretty good in that movie.
Where's he hiding his weapons?
Okay. So these last two, they're like really, and I didn't put them in the top 5, even though technically in a lot of ways they should be because of everything around it. The first one was The Raven. The Raven with John Cusack, and John Cusack actually he plays Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay.
So they're using him because Edgar Allan Poe is pretty much regarded as the man that invented the detective story. He is the godfather of the detective story. He was the very first person to ever
But the
write
story of the Raven
a
is
detective
really about
story.
it driving him mad. It's like
No,
the Telltale Heart will
Let me-
probably be more of a detective
Listen
story.
to
Okay.
what I'm saying. So in the movie, people are killing in the same manner as his stories. They're dying. The murders are happening the same way they're happening in his stories.
Oh, okay.
So they hire him to be the detective to find out who this killer is that is mimicking his writings in
Okay.
real life.
Okay.
So it is very good. It is a good movie. I liked it a lot. John Cusack was phenomenal as Edgar Allan Poe. But I wanted to highlight that one because of the fact that Edgar Allan Poe is considered pretty much the very first person to ever write a detective story.
Okay.
Ever.
right.
So I wanted to highlight
Except
that.
them Sherlock Holmes movies.
And-
Sherlock Holmes books.
Yeah, no, later. Who did Sherlock Holmes? Was this Arthur Conan Doyle? Was it Doyle? I think so. Nah, he ain't got shit on Poe.
No.
Anyway. And of course your favorite, the Batman! Gotta have him in there because Batman is the world's greatest detective.
It is
so
a
I am
detective
putting him
movie.
in there.
It
He's
is
not in my top 5. He was this close to being in my top 5, but he gave me so much crap about it. and the fact that I just could not turn away all of the shit that Harrison Ford went through to find out who killed his wife in The Fugitive. That was some serious detective work, so I gotta give him freaking credit for it.
It is a detective film, but it is basically 7. And I've already seen 7, and 7's on my list.
Batman 7.
I mean,
7.5.
basically, that's how. Wait, hold up a second. That's how DC has been doing better. DC films. Let's just redo an old film and then just put a superhero in it or put a villain in it.
Okay, give me another one.
The Joker.
No.
Yes,
You
Taxi
said
Driver.
Oh! So it's Joker's Taxi Driver.
And
Batman
King of
is
Comedy.
7,
Yeah.
and the King of Comedy.
Yeah.
Okay, what else you got?
What's the other ones that have worked?
So they could have.
Wonder Woman first was Yeah, let me get back to that one.
Which was Aquaman.
Movie about fish.
Lion King.
I mean,
It's the Lion King.
no, it was Splash.
The Splash.
It was Splash.
What does he do to fish again? Terrence, take us home.
All right, guys. Yeah, go ahead and put your top 5 in the comments below. I know you guys are gonna have a ton. He had a ton on his honorable mentions, so I know it's gonna be a wild variety of top 5 lists. So let's go ahead and take a look at them and put them in the comments below. And if it's first time that you're on the channel, make sure you go to the subscribe button as well as click the notification button, so that way you're aware of all the other top 5s that we do on the channel. Also, too, we got merch to sell. Go to Teespring. Go ahead and get a t-shirt. One of the t-shirt, well, I gotta bring this one back. This is an older t-shirt, that one of the first ones that we did. Go to teespring.com and go see the rest of the merch that we have on the website, or you can just give us money through Patreon, and we do have giveaways for that. Anywhere from $1 on up, we'll determine the giveaway that you get from that, but definitely help us get better.
For Aspen and Art, wherever the hell they're at, and Carla, I'm Manny,
I'm Terrence.
and we'll see you next time.
Real quick, if you're still here, because we do these into the video little blooper things. If you're still here, look down. There's a link here for Patreon. If you guys like the show, please give us money. Give us money. We'll take a penny. We'll take a nickel. We'll take a dime. We'll take $1. We have some stuff on there that we're giving away on Patreon if you do contribute, because trust me, we need help. We need help. We want to buy new equipment, and we need an editor. Somebody who doesn't have to stay up in the middle of the night. Or they don't have to stay up in the middle, but I won't have to do it. So please, down patreon.com/thegoods. It's in the link. Please do it. We appreciate it.